Board. Board means the Central Board of Excise and Customs constituted under the Central Boards of Revenue Act 1963. So, the board here refers to the Central Board of Excise and Customs. It should be noted that though excise is abolished, still the name excise continues. They may change the name in the future date, but as of now, it is Central Board of Excise and Customs. Now, next, business. Business includes. So, the definition of business is not an exhaustive definition, but it is an inclusive definition. So, why is the word business an inclusive definition? Because the government want to bring as many people as possible into the GST network, and therefore the business word is being always an inclusive definition but not exhaustive definition. Even in income tax, income is also an inclusive definition. Similarly, business here is also an inclusive definition. Business includes any trade, commerce, manufacture, profession, vocation, adventure, wager, or any other similar activity, whether it is for a pecuniary benefit. So, all the above activities are included within the term of business. Not only trade, but also any other activity similar to trade. Not only commerce, any other activity similar to that of commerce. Whether it is for a pecuniary benefit. Pecuniary benefit means monetary benefit. So, any kind of trade, commerce, or manufacture, profession, vocation, adventure, wager, or any other activity. Point A. Point B. Any activity or transaction in connection with or incidental or ancillary to subclass A. That is, let us take for example, any activity in connection with trade, any activity in connection with commerce, or any activity or transaction incidental to trade, or any activity or transaction incidental to commerce. So, any activity or transaction which is closely related, which is closely in connection with the above said activities are also considered as business. Even if they are not connected, if they are incidental to the above said activities, then also they are called business. Even if they are not incidental also, if it is ancillary to the above said activities, then also it is called business. Next, C. Any activity or transaction in the nature of subclass A. Subclass A is given above, the detailing. Whether or not there is volume, frequency, continuity or regularity of such transaction. So, let us take for example, in case of a seasonal business, there is no regularity of transaction. Only for a particular season, the transactions happen. So, even then it is called business. Even if it is not a continued transaction, then also it is called business. Even when the volume is very low, still it is included within the term of business. Even when the frequency of conducting the business is also very low, even then it is called business. So, the volume, frequency, continuity or regularity of the transaction is not very much important. So, any activity or transaction in the nature of subclass A, the given above, whether or not there is volume, frequency, continuity or regularity of such transaction. Number D. Supply or acquisition of goods, including capital goods and services in connection with commencement or closure of business. So, business also include supply of goods or acquisition of goods. So, here the word goods means it includes capital goods and also services. Goods doesn't mean goods alone. It also includes capital goods and services in connection with commencement or closure of business. So the D clause says supply or acquisition of goods is also within the meaning of business, including capital goods and services in connection with commencement or closure of business, whether at the time of starting business or at the closure of business. So this is point number D. Next, provision of a club, association, society or any such body or for a subscription or any other consideration of the facilities or benefits to its members. In case of a club, association or a society, mutuality concept prevails. So mutuality means the club works for the welfare of its members. The association works for the welfare of its members. Though club and the club works for the sole welfare of its members, still club, association and society, whatever activities carried out by them is coming under the term of business. The significance is that clubs, association, society or any such body for that matter which gets subscription or any other amount from its members come within the ambit of GST. So clubs, association, society or any such body which receives subscription from its members or any other consideration from its members will be considered as a business. Those activities carried out by the club is carried out. Those activities which are carried out by the club is considered as business. Next, admission for a consideration of persons to any premises. Suppose you want to enter into a theatre. So you are paying the amount for entering into the theatre. So the admission fee for a consideration, for an amount to any premises is also, the admission process is also considered as business. Next, service applied by a person as the holder of an office which has been accepted by him in the course or furtherance of his trade, profession or vocation. So, a service applied by a person, the word used is again person, not taxable person or registered person. As a holder of an office, he holds an office and it has been accepted by him in the course or furtherance of his trade. In the normal course of the business, if he is accepting that office and the service supplied by that person is also coming under the meaning of business. Next, services provided by a race club by way of totalizator or license to bookmaker in such club. So the race club is also included within the meaning of business. The service provided by race club is also included within the meaning of the business. Next, any activity or transaction undertaken by the central government, state government or local authority in which they are engaged as public authorities. That is, the activities must be undertaken by the central government or state government or any local authority for that matter. For example, corporation, municipality, etc. So those activities in which they are engaged as public authorities, if they are engaged in those activities as public authorities, then those activities are also coming within the purview of business. The condition is any activity undertaken by central government, state government or any local authority in which they are engaged as public authorities. What are the points to remember? So here wager means betting. The first A clause speaks about wager. So it means adventure, wager, etc. So wager here refers to betting process. So betting is also coming within the purview of business. Seasonal businesses are also covered because frequency, volume doesn't matter. Seasonal businesses, for example, the cracker business, which is sold only for a particular period of time. It is also within this ambit. Charitable or religious activities are not specifically covered. They have not explicitly covered charitable or religious activities. But if the charitable or religious institutions are engaged in any of the activities told above, then those charitable or religious organizations are liable to GST. For charitable activities or religious activities conducted by those organizations, GST is not applicable. But for non-charitable activities and non-religious activities are specific are covered. So GST will be applicable on those things.